John chapter 4. Familiar passage of Scripture, but I'm going to put a Thanksgiving twist on it tonight. John chapter 4. It's a familiar story. We're not going to read the whole story. You can preach 10, 15 minutes on every little point if you wanted to. But I want us to look at just two little verses. And this is my Thanksgiving message for Wednesday night. You know, I like this so well, I might just use this next, well not next year, 2 years when I get the bull swamp. Chapter 4, John's Gospel. We all know about the story of the woman at the well, okay? But look at these two verses, okay? In the meantime, his disciples prayed him. Now, when they said prayed him, that means they're trying to persuade him. That's kind of chapter 4, John's Gospel, chapter 4, verse 31. I didn't tell y'all 31. Y'all just read all of them to get where I am. In the meantime, his disciples prayed or tried to persuade him, saying, Master, eat. Here, have some food. We know you hadn't got anything in a while. But Jesus said, he said unto them, I have meat to eat that you know not of. I have meat to eat that you know not of. Now, what has happened here in Jesus' life is he's done something very unique when it comes to spiritual people. As a matter of fact, his disciples could be used as the contrast to this, that they had not fulfilled what he had done in this particular statement. Because you know they were in the middle of Samaria and they were telling him, hurry up, we got to get out of here, because you see the disciples were Jews and they weren't interested in playing footsie with the Samaritans. Okay, that's just something they didn't do. But he said, I've got some food that you have no idea where it comes from. Okay? Now, so since Thanksgiving is all about food, now I'm going to take a vote here. How many of you like, I'll give you three choices: pumpkin pie, pecan pie, or apple pie? Pumpkin pie, raise your hand. Anybody? All right, got 4. All right, what about pecan pie? I guarantee y'all don't eat pecan pie, y'all eat pecan pie. Well, what about apple pie? You don't eat apple? Yeah, praise the Lord. I like apple pie. Yes, sir. I think I like apple pie. Huh? Yeah. Well, yeah, I should have said sweet potato pie, but pumpkin is more the flavor, I guess, from all that. Okay, but now, all right, how many of you, when you were growing up, how many of you, when you were growing up and you were sitting at the table and you were playing with your food, okay? How many of you, I ain't voting yet, how many of you had your mom or your dad send you on a guilt trip by saying, you need to clean your plate because there's starving children in Africa? Yes, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right, how many of you, when you grew up, used that same phrase on your children? Yeah, and it didn't work for them, didn't work for you either, right? Yeah, there's starving children all over the place. Well, I want you to think about something tonight. I want you to think in spiritual terms, as Jesus applied it here to this particular story. I want you to think about eating all the chicken off the bone. Eating all the chicken off the bone. Now, you've had children take one bite out of a chicken leg and lay it back down. Eating all the chicken off of the bone. Okay? Now, everybody understands what that means. It simply means going all the way with the Lord and not starting halfway in what you have been called to do and accomplish. Now, everybody is tempted to piddle in their efforts. And, well, you know, I can leave this undone, I can leave that undone. But I want you to get to the place of your Christian life that you're not going to leave any chicken on the bone. Now, I want to give you about 4 illustrations in the Scriptures of those who did not leave any chicken on the bone. Now, the first one is Eli, God himself. He didn't leave any chicken on the bone. What if he was going about his business of creating the world now. What if he got tired? Of course, that's an oxymoron. He don't get tired, does he? On the third day, he said, you know, I think I'm just going to skip day 4. I'm going to sleep in on day 4. Now, I've already read what happened on day 4. I'm going to share it with you. You read it later. What happened on day 4 was he created the elements of the moon and the sun, and also he created the seasons. So, you know, if he hadn't done all that he did just on the 4th day, maybe he didn't do it the 5th and the 6th. That meant there wouldn't be any wildlife. That meant there wouldn't be any man or women for him to have fellowship with and him to love and then to love him back. But you see, he didn't leave any chicken on the bone. He went all the way for God or for himself. He went all the way, I'm going to do this world, I'm going to do it complete, I'm going to make it exactly what I want it to be, and I'm not going to leave any meat on the bone. And so God did it. He didn't take any shortcuts. And so you and I have to learn that in God's work, there can't be any shortcuts. Think about with me for just a minute, Moses, okay? Now you know that God called him to do a tremendous task, okay? He went down there into Egypt, and he was supposed to deliver those poor slave people that had been there for 430 years. But how was he going to do it? He didn't know, okay? Well, guess what? Right in the midst of what he was doing, here comes Pharaoh. Some people call him that. I heard him call that from the pulpit, Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, all right, Moses, now listen, I know that God has called you to this task, and I know he wants you to complete this task. And I have agreed, Moses, to let all the people go. But let me ask you something, Moses. Who needs to go? You see, Pharaoh wanted to leave chicken on the bone. And if you read, we're not going to look at it tonight, but if you look at Exodus 8:25, he tried to compromise with Moses and tell him, said, now listen, you need to leave a little chicken on the bone. Said, don't take all the women and children. Just take the men folk. Then he said, don't take all the men, women, children. Don't take the oxen too. Leave the cattle. Them cows don't need to go out in the wilderness. They'll die. You ain't got no water for yourself, much less them cows. So what he was trying to do was to get Moses not to complete the task that God had called him to do. Now, I'm not talking about big tasks. I know these are big tasks. But I'm talking about the everyday, mundane chores that we are supposed to do in our walk with God. You need to understand something. You can't get spiritual coming to church on Christmas. You can't gouge yourself enough spiritual food in December that you have enough wisdom to live the rest of your life for Christ from January through November. You got to do something. You got to learn that I'm going to not leave you chicken on the bone. I'm going to serve God in January, and February, and March, and April, and May, and go right on down the list. And get to that place where you won't do things half-hearted for God, and you won't try to spiritually gouge yourself. Well, I got to eat, troubles in my life. And man, they run to the church. I've got trouble. Let me go see if I can get enough spiritual food to give me wisdom and spiritual nurture to get me through the trouble that I'm in. Ain't going to happen, brother. Ain't going to take place in this world nor in the next. You cannot do that with God. You've got to eat all the chicken off the bone, and that means to have a habitual Christian life in your walk all year long. You can't just run down to the altar and cry like a wild Comanche. God help me during this time. If you ain't decided in your Christian life, well, here I am in my private devotions, and I have a chance to go to bed without eating all the chicken off the bone. I can do that. I can just lay. Nobody's going to know about it. But you know when they will know about it? When the problems come. They'll know about it, and it will rear its ugly head and say, there's something going on in their life that shouldn't be going on. All right, let's go a little further. I can give you all references for this, but we're not going to. What about if Jesus had decided to leave a little chicken on the bone? He had an opportunity. You remember after his days of fasting, okay? Who came to him? The devil. And tempted him and said, now Jesus, listen here. I understand there's a cross in your future, but I'm going to help you out. He said, Jesus, I want to help you out because I'm your brother. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I know.
Huh?
Yes, I know your brother.
Did you know Satan was his brother?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get that?
Well, we're all brothers.
No. Satan was not Jesus' brother. that means you're a good Mormon. Okay, that's what the Mormons teach, that Jesus and Lucifer are brothers in heaven. One was the good son, one was the bad son. That's the Mormon doctrine. So he comes to him, and he might have told him he's his brother, but he's not. And he said, I'm going to save you some trouble. I'm going to save you some trouble, Jesus. All you got to do is put on your pretty crown, put on your robe, go get up on the pinnacle of the temple, and when you jump off, let the angels grab you and set you on the ground. They'll come and they'll dress you out in all kind of attire. They'll worship you. You can set up your kingdom, and you won't have to go to the cross. But you know what Jesus told him? No, I'm not leaving any chicken on the bone. That's a shortcut. My God, my Father has told me that I must go to the cross. It is divinely ordained that I must go to the cross. I'm not going to leave that chicken bone with any chicken on it. I am going to the cross because that is what God wants me to do. Amen. I promise you, brothers and sisters, the devil and his followers will come and tempt you just like he did Jesus to take a shortcut. A shortcut. A shortcut in your preparation. I'm talking to teachers now. You must prepare your heart. You must prepare yourself. You must prepare your scripture before you can deliver it to anybody else. But there's shortcuts that can be taken, called Saturday night specials. Now, I'm speaking from experience, okay? I've done that. Not proud of it, but I've done it, okay? But anyway, oh God, I got to teach Sunday morning. Let me get on my holy cap. And let me find this script, oh man, and let me get in front of a class, and they'll think I've been studying ever since last Sunday night. You get up there and you wow with all this. But what you've done, you left chicken on the bone. You're not prepared. The Holy Spirit doesn't anoint you. And because you're not anointed, you are failed. You have failed God, and you failed the people that you're teaching. Can I get amen? Amen. Okay. So, that's Jesus. What about Paul? Somebody turn with me to Acts 20, verse 20 right quick. Paul could have left some chicken on the bone, but he didn't. He had a call on his life to do exactly what God wanted him to do, and he knew what it was. Somebody tell me what Paul's mission was. It's very simple. It's very plain. It's right. As a minister to the Gentiles. Okay? All right. What does he say in Acts chapter 20, verse 20? Somebody read that.
I did not shrink from declaring to you anything that was profitable and teaching you in public and from house to house.
All right. So that means Paul didn't leave any chicken on the bone. He did not refrain from sharing with them everything that was profitable to them spiritually. Now, it might not have been good, okay? Might have took some picking to get the chicken off the bone, but he didn't leave any chicken on the bone. He carried out his message, and he went to the end. He said, I fought a good fight. What was he saying? I ain't left no chicken on the bone. I've done what God called me to do, be minister to the Gentiles. I have not failed my Lord. Now, somebody, Dot, you do it. I want you to read this in just a minute. Psalm 34, verse 8. Okay? Well, I'll let you read it now. Go ahead.
Let me get to it.
Go ahead and read it. 34, verse 8.
Okay. 34. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who trusts in him.
I love that verse. It describes a personal relationship that you have with God as you choose to do His task or His work in His kingdom. What you're doing, you're just tasting the goodness of God. That reflects right back on what Jesus told those backslidden disciples. I got food that you ain't got no business of because you don't have a commitment like I have. See, His disciples wanted to leave chicken on the bone. It wasn't going to happen. So He says, taste and see. Now, how many of y'all going to eat turkey and dressing on Thursday? You going to eat turkey and dressing? I like white meat. I'm sorry, dark meat gives me indigestion. I'll eat all the white meat I can. But man, they ain't nothing. And after I've ate turkey and dressing with all the fixings around, I'll go take me a nap. Now, let me back up. It's always a tradition in the Lott family when we go down to Clinton. After we eat, we get all the grandchildren loaded up and we go down to the pond at Presbyterian College and we feed the ducks, okay? Have to feed the ducks. The grandyoungins just love to go down there and feed the ducks. They have a ball, okay? But after we feed the ducks and we come back, okay, then it's time to get a roll and put a piece of turkey in it, okay? Ooh, what you talking about? A roll and a piece of turkey? Man, I tell you, that tastes good. And when you get to the place where you enjoy serving God, you'll find that the tastiness of what you do for the glory of God will outlast any flavor that you could ever find any other place in this world. Okay? That's why I say that, you can't, a lot of people are afraid to taste God. You can't just get enough of God in December to last you through the rest of the year. You can't come to church one Sunday out of the month and expect to get all the chicken off the bone. Okay? It ain't going to happen. Did you know that every minister who is ordained in all denominations, who start out early in age after seminary, did you know that less than 12%, that only 12% will ever finish the ministry? Did you know that? I mean, those that start, that means that 88% do not retire as a minister. They retire something else. Why do you think that is? No, it ain't got nothing to do with money. I'll tell you what it is. It's dealing with a bunch of half-hearted people that leaves chicken on the bone. And you get stressed out, it blows your heart and your mind, and the ministry just takes its toll on you, and you just can't make it to the end. So, I know this is a Wednesday night crowd. I know you got chicken that you're going to eat off the bone come Thursday. But pray for those people who take God half-hearted. Just pray for them. Something needs to be done in their lives. Now let me give you an example before I close, okay? Had to look to see my notes. I've only got one example of doing your job and your task. Let me choose one man among you that only comes on Sundays, okay? But I have gotten to know this gentleman pretty well, okay? He's became a devout friend of mine. Now, we don't converse about everything in the world. We talk about football because he's a Penn State man, I'm a Clemson man. But anyway, the dedication that this fellow has, first of all, to everything that he does. Now, you know him as J. Hunt, okay? Dr. J. Hunt, professor of industrial engineering. Not the head, but of the group that goes to South Carolina State. You probably don't know that he went through a very rough time. He was asked to head up the group of professors that was going to try to save the accreditation of South Carolina State. And he shared with me time after time, and sometimes he would have to leave. I've got to be back at school at 12:30. I have to leave early, and he would apologize. He couldn't be here. He'd have to go. He worked tireless hours to bring their accreditation back up to snuff. And he did. They were successful. But the reason he was able to do that is because he wasn't going to leave any chicken on the bone. Now let me talk about him personally. Dr. J. Hung has won award after award after award, and just recently he won an award for a paper that he wrote, and that meant that South Carolina State got scholarship money, big time scholarship money, to pay for students to be in the industrial engineering program of South Carolina State. He beats big time people from all the colleges and universities, especially on the East Coast. And he's from little old South Carolina State. But you know the reason he's able to do that is because of his commitment to his task. He don't leave chicken on the bone. Now let me take that a little bit further. In the paper that goes out, he wasn't ashamed. This goes out to a lot of secular universities. He wasn't ashamed to talk about his faith in Jesus at a secular college. Now that is a no-no in a lot of places, especially if you're on the faculty. He wasn't ashamed of that to do that. He stood up for his witness, and let me share a little bit more with you. I think I've told you about his son. His son runs a pizza parlor down in Goose Creek. And this is unheard of. But his son has such a dedication to the Lord. He was raised so much knowing and loving the Lord, is that he sells pizza without alcohol. Amen. Now you try making a living like that, brother. Oh no, you want to have a pizza place, you got to have that alcohol license. Not if you don't leave any chicken on the bone. Amen. Dedication goes a little bit further than what a doctor, because he knows that alcohol is an enemy of his life. And so he doesn't want it, and he was raised right. And so he's a witness. He's a witness in his own life. He's a witness in the secular world, and he's a witness to his family. The only way you accomplish those kind of things is by not leaving any chicken on the property. Now we'll take up the collection. I got some red lines.